we were talking about the process, and then at some point you said when you come to the US, because we were looking at the whole process, how it will go, we have to get married in 90 days. You remember?
Yeah.
Me, I was like, hey, I'm not ready to get married. Where? So something else we practiced when we were doing our K1 is giving as much information as possible. Give them until their cup overflows, so that
Let me tell them why. You remember why?
No.
Now we learned. Because when we did our K1 the first time,
hapo Homeland, hiyo ka restaurant kako hapo, that's where we sat. Homeland hapo karibu opposite Garden City, that's where we sat and started this process. This process is very expensive, guys. So there's a time we paid 1,225. We will tell you when. That was there's a time we paid $710.
That, when he answers the question right, I'm like doing backflips in my head. I'm like, that's mommy. Don't be anxious about anything, but with everything, we'll provide to you freely. Nimebucha hiyo verse, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right now it's 10 and my interview is at 10:15, so I have to go through security checks. I don't know if they give you opportunity to think.
You always have an opportunity. What do you mean? Guys, Nick thinks that when he goes in there, he can't think.
Which conditions are they removing?
No, conditions that they are still watching you.
Oh, they're still watching me, so now they are not watching me.
Not anymore.
So currently they are not watching me, so we have L. We have L over here.
When you were growing up, did you think that you were gonna become a US citizen one day?
No.
Never?
Me, first of all, when I was growing up, I didn't even know I was a citizen of the country I was in. What do you mean? Yeah, by the way, even sitting in that room, I was like, I keep God is working here.
Wow, really?
I was saying God is working for me because I could feel it. Like, I'm just seated there. Like, this is one interview that would make you a citizen or not. And if he decides to say no, and he gives a reason, because he's human, he can say no. Like, there's no one who will say, why did you not? Because if there's something they felt, because they've been trained, he can actually deny it. In 5 days, I will be a citizen of the US. So help me God.
What are you doing?
We're doing something.
He's a very efficient assistant over here. What are you doing?
I'm taking the paper out and Daddy can do some. There's no more. Look there.
How are you feeling, sir?
Happy 2023. Huh?
How are you feeling?
Very busy.
What are you busy doing?
I'm getting my naturalization documents in place, and it's not easy. It is a lot of work.
It looks like we are nearing the end of the process. It's been...
At the end of the process?
Yeah.
Which process? Like printing?
No.
Oh, okay.
See, the whole process of like... We started the process in 2019 and we are currently in 2025. Hopefully this is the last maybe month or two of the whole thing, and we will finally arrive. So if you don't know what I'm talking about the K1 visa process, where we applied for Nick to come on a fiancé visa from Kenya to the United States. We did that in 2019. Nick came in 2020. We got married. We applied for change of status in 2020. Got that in 2021. Then in 2023, we did the removal of conditions. In 2023 we did the removal of conditions, and then in 2024 we applied for citizenship, and in 2025 we are going for the interview. So that's what Nick is doing right now, just putting the documents together. But this whole process has been what?
Very long and tiresome.
Very long and tiresome, and involving
since November 2018.
Hey, Cody, that's when we started the thing. We are hoping that the interview goes well and he finally gets his citizenship and we'll be done.
Yeah, we hope to be done on Thursday, like in the next 3 days. so that at least we now start a new chapter.
Yeah.
A chapter of not being followed by the law a lot. Of not looking so much behind your back and checking your documents. I have like 7 or 8 driving cards because I've been changing statuses every so often. Because we also move. Let's say when we move from maybe a particular house to another house, I have to change my address and change my ID. And I have to pay like $10. Hey, this is a lot of money, by the way. If you think about it, it's a lot of money, but it is a process that you have to do. It is not like, okay, it is optional. You have to do it if you want to survive in this. Because if I don't do that, I'll have to do it again in 10 years. You know?
Oh yeah.
There are some jobs, if I'm not a citizen, I can't really get those jobs. Then traveling. Traveling is the biggest. I am a Kenyan citizen everywhere. Whether I'm going to Mexico, whether I'm going to even Alaska, you have to walk with your passport. But when you are American citizen, you now abide to whatever laws that apply to other American citizens when you go to those countries. So there's a lot of freedom that comes with that passport that says American citizen. And also the ability to vote in a country that I'm paying taxes. That is one of the biggest. Being able to choose the president. I've been paying taxes here for almost 5 years. And it's not kidogo taxes, it is a lot of money. So when you can't choose the person who's going to govern the country, who's going to sign bills to laws, and yet you're the one paying the taxes, and you can't really choose who's going to make decisions on what is going to affect you every day. Whichever country you are watching from, I don't know if this video will one day make it to the internet, but if it does, whichever country you are watching from, can you imagine if you didn't have the documents that give you the ability to work in that country, to move around, you produce your ID and they're like, oh, you are one of us, you know? So those are the pros, cons of not having citizenship. So this is just the first part. I have one for removing conditions and one for naturalization. So for the removing conditions, I've gone through the instructions page, and now I have to look at what they wanted from the instructions page. Written them down here. I have them here. I will start ticking them, everything that I've done. So right now I want to go for my cards, and then certificates, that is birth certificate, marriage certificate, federal state tax, insurance policies, joint utility bills, anything that proves that we are together and we've been filing jointly. So those are the things we are gathering. Maybe within this video you'll see another video saying how everything has just moved on.
Okay guys, that's it for today. This is 3 days before the appointment.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, so this is 3 days before the appointment, so hang tight and let's see how this goes.
Guys, this is a very different type of video from what you're used to, and today I'm going for my interview to become, first of all, to remove the conditions and
which conditions?
Oh, the conditions the conditions to my green card that I have, and the second one is for naturalization test, which means I want to become a US citizen. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. This is Elle and Nick. That's Elle, my wife, and I am Nick, the husband. And today we are currently 4 minutes away from the immigration office, and this is the second time we are going to this particular immigration office. Seems like it's the closest and the one that is usually processing our documents, and I am prepared, though I have to say that there's a lot of preparation that went into this for me to be prepared, and there's a lot of filing that had to be done in order to provide the evidence in order for me to be prepared. In the official documents, it says that it will take around 2 hours. We are not yet sure because we have to go through the first interview, and it depends on whoever is interviewing us how long it will take according to him, because he has to feel convinced that it is what it is. The first interview will do it with Elle, then the next interview I'll do it alone, and I hope that we pass because she's also involved. So this process started with a K1 visa. When we applied for a K1 visa, it went all the way to the stage where I got my green card, and now I want to remove the conditions. After removing conditions, that's when you naturalize. So you have to go step by step. Only that our interview is combined because I'm removing conditions at the same time I am applying to be a US citizen. And I hope this goes on well, because I'm hoping my partner in interviewing will also participate very well, and she's prepared to answer all the questions.
You guys know I stay ready, I stay prepared, so we got this.
Yeah, so guys, after this I'll definitely come back and tell you how it went, but in the meantime, let's wait and see what happens, right?
Yep.
Yes, so let's go. So guys, we are here, and you can see there are a couple of people who are coming out. I hope they are happy. This couple is smiling, so I'm yeah, they look very happy. So this is it. So Elle is saying that everyone is parking as if they are all nervous. The way the wheels are, you can see how that parked. Look at the way this other one parked. The other one is almost like here next to the line. So big question. Am I nervous? A little nervous, because it's a process, and it's also very expensive, guys. We will talk about how much it cost us in another video, but for now we are going in. We have 15 minutes before my we are 15 minutes early, so right now it's 10:01 and my interview is at 10:15, so I have to go through security check before I go and sit down, and also I take a number, and I think that number just identifies that you are there, you know.
Yeah.
So you are not supposed to come in here like 30 minutes, more than 30 minutes before. Yeah, not more than 30 minutes to your interview, because they have limited space. And I feel like because we've come at around 10, the last time we came here, we came at 8, and there was a huge queue. We had to queue, and that was back in like 2021. Was it 2021?
No, I think it was 2022. We had Elena already, or no?
No, we didn't have Elena.
It's been that long?
It's been that long. It was 2021. So in 2021 we came here, and it was soon after the COVID everything, and there was like distancing and all that. But now that we are coming, I can't see any queue, so it means it's a good day, and I'm hoping everything goes well. Elle is currently having her breakfast.
Yeah, I'm just munching a little bit. I just need like a bite.
Numbers, dates. There are so many dates. By the time you get to this point, there are so many dates. Date of marriage, date you have your child, date of birth, date of birth, date of your birth, date of my birth, when you first had your first job, when you left your job, where you moved from your first house, if you move to the next house, which address is it, second address, third address, if you've moved 4 houses, there's so many numbers involved, and sometimes it may confuse. I don't know if they give you opportunity to think.
Yeah, you always have an opportunity. What do you mean? Guys, Nick thinks that when he goes in there he can't think. No, you can always think, and you can say, give me a second, let me think about that. You can actually say that. Okay, don't be anxious about anything, but with everything, in prayer and supplication, give it to God, who will provide to you freely. Nimebucha hiyo verse, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You want to pray for yourself?
No, pray for me, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning. We pray and are thankful for the opportunities ahead that will come from you. And it is in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Okay, let's go. Hey guys, it's exactly around 40 minutes since we got our result, and from the way I'm looking, you can tell things are good, things are perfect, things have just happened. I am very excited. The person you're looking at right now is not the same person you were looking at a few seconds ago. So this is a very different human who has now, first of all, I went through the conditions, and all the conditions have been removed. So you move from, how long was the first one? 2 years? Because I had a 2-year. So I had a 2-year extension, and now I'm moving from 2 years to 10 years when they remove the conditions. So you can be a permanent resident for 10 years without any conditions. You know the way they say 6 months. See, you 6 months. You have to be in the country. Am I about to apply? Which conditions are they removing?
No, conditions that they are still watching you.
Oh, they're still watching me. So now they are not watching me.
Not anymore.
So currently they are not watching me. So we have L. We have L over here. And now that's not even all. Oh, first of all, say what was your experience like?
Like in there, in the interview. No, you tell them. You're the
so
main
guys,
character.
this is what happened. So the moment we stopped rolling the cameras, we went in and there was no one. It was just us and the security guys. So we gave them our IDs, gave them my green card. Elle gave them her ID. And then we had to remove our belt. You have to remove your shoes. You have to remove anything in your pocket. The only thing they leave you with is maybe your wedding ring if you have one, and your watch has to go. Then we move to another room. So not to another room. You move to a counter, and this counter now, that's where they give you. It's like you check in. So they give you like something you stick on your paper. They check the letter that you have that invited you to the interview, and you now proceed to sit somewhere waiting to be called in. So we went somewhere, sat there. A few minutes, other people were being called. It was our interview time, but I think we went in after 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I really didn't look at the clock, but some people were called in during our interview time, and then finally we were called in. This guy greeted us. I can't remember his name, but thank you so much. If you ever watch this video and you see I saw these people somewhere. So he called us in, said hi, like pleasantries, said hi, how are you guys doing, blah blah blah, and then he directed us. I was a bit nervous, to be honest, because I was just like, this is it. It's actually it's big, because when you are walking in, you don't know what will happen, right? Then afterwards, we sat down with you. They took a picture of me, because I'm the one who was seated where the camera was facing. So he had to take a picture, and then
that's not the reason why they took a picture of you, babe. They didn't just take a picture of you because you're the one who was seated there. No, they took because I was the one who was applying. Yeah. What did I say? Yeah, they took a picture of you because you were the one who was seated where the camera was. No. Okay. Erase that. Rewind selector. So they took the picture because I was the one applying to remove, first of all, the status. The condition, sorry. I was the one who was applying to remove the conditions, and secondly, I was the one who was applying for naturalization, which means I want to become a US citizen. And Elle sat now like behind his monitor, so he practically was not even seeing her, because he just knew she existed. Then we went to the first questions, which is just verifying that we are still married and everything that we submitted is true. And I had to confirm my date of birth, my name, and we had to confirm where we are living currently. And he asked us if we were supposed to answer in unison. I know. Like, so where do you guys currently live? And I was like, is it me? But I felt like since I was the one who was applying, I should be the one to answer. So I answered it. And then he was like, okay. I don't know why it's so loud. It's because you took it all the way to 70. Oh. You can make a 75. Like it's so warm. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, that is LN machines. Now, after that, what else happened? Now you've removed my train of thought. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, so he just asked us, like, he didn't really ask us like many questions. He said we provided a lot of the information that he would need, and it looks like usually they'll go through what evidence you provided and the document that you provided, and if you don't have any questions, then they don't really ask a lot of questions, at least in our case. So they said, oh, I see you guys have a child together. We said yes. And do you guys have a home together? We said yes. And I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm just currently removing the conditions.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
That was like within the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, that took like 3 minutes literally.
Like I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
He was like, this is quite simple.
This is so simple.
Yeah, you guys submitted more than I required, I needed, and everything looks good, nothing out of the ordinary. And I'm
so
like,
he didn't really even ask us anything about our marriage, about who brushes on which side and you what, none of that. Like nothing. Because when we do the applications, we are very thorough.
very
thorough.
If you guys have seen the video where I'm arranging documents, that he didn't even check, he just asked.
That's true.
He just,
all that work.
Yeah, I did so much for 2 days, 2 nights. 2 nights.
And you know, you started earlier, like.
Yeah, I started gathering like my documents, just making sure everything, like, guys, open your folder. Is it at the back?
You think so?
Let me, that folder, I want to show you. You see these folders? These folders, you can see these papers.
Let me hold it for them so they can see.
Are you seeing those papers?
Like, look guys, look.
All those papers.
All these. And
we still had,
these are the originals.
The originals.
Of everything. These are the originals of everything. And these are the copies. And including pictures. Our pictures and stuff.
So I had so much, and I used to sleep every day at past midnight, just making sure I have every document. I'm not saying you should not do that. Do that because you never know.
Yeah, because your interview can be very different.
Yeah, there's a guy we just spoke to who had to answer like, who cooks, who cleans, which side of the bed does your wife?
What does the wife like to cook?
He was asked questions that we were not asked. So you'd never know how your interview will go. So very important, make sure you over prepare.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and make sure you when you're doing the application, you put in more than they need. Like, just add more evidence, add more whatever you have to show that your relationship is real and still ongoing and everything. Like, make sure you just put in all those in, because when they have information ahead of time, that is what they determine what they're gonna ask during the interview. So if they have a lot of information that makes them feel like, okay, this seems legit, you might have less questions during the interview. But if you don't provide enough information during your application, then they have to fill in more information when you actually show up physically to the interview. So
something else we practice when we were doing our K1 is giving as much information as possible. Give them until their cup overflows, so that
let me tell them why. You remember why?
No.
Now we learned, because when we did our K1 the first time, they asked us for more evidence.
Oh, like, yeah. I actually have
fast.
that. I have that Nini card here.
Oh, the one that said that they require more evidence. It was called a request for evidence or something like that. Like, so when you first apply, if whatever evidence of the relationship you provided is not sufficient for them, they're gonna ask for more. So we were like, oh, okay, so you guys want more, and more you shall have.
More you shall be given.
And they have always had more since then.
Yeah, you give as much as possible. Then, if you guys remember, we went to Canada, right? And because when we went to Canada, I had already started and submitted my application for removing of conditions and naturalization. So we went to Canada in September, and immediately we came out of that trip, I went back into my account and added that information that we went to Canada, and I even uploaded pictures to show that we went to Canada. And that information, because I even forgot about it, that I had actually submitted, because he said, oh, I see you went to Canada. He was just checking. I'm like, oh, immediately I was like, how? Oh, so I submitted that too. So make sure you give all in the information, because these guys have access to government immigration system. They are the immigration. They are the immigration, so they can see you left at a particular point. So if you give that information like ahead of time, it really helps in making sure that this interview that I've just come from is as easy as possible. So make sure you do that. Don't forget, update as much as possible, so that when he checks it, he has no question, you know. So that went very fast. Within 3 minutes, conditions removed, boom. Then Elle had to sit at the back, because usually she's required to get out of the room, but the the officer has the opportunity or the ability to either say you stay in the room or you leave. Because if he said, I'll need you to step out, she has to step out.
Yeah.
But he was like, I don't think.
He said as long as you remain quiet, no cheering, no anything, no telling him the answers.
No pararira.
No pararira.
No.
Yeah,
Stop.
yeah.
Keep quiet.
I was just doing that in my head. When he answers a question right, I'm like doing backflips in my head. I'm like, that's my man, that's my man.
Yeah. So the next one was now for me. Now, the only thing I say that brought a lot of tension is he was typing a lot of things and we were just quiet. There was like quietness.
But he was trying to relieve that tension. He's
He's like, I know you're wondering what this guy is doing here. and then he types.
Pretty nice.
So which was good because he was easing my tension, because I was like trying to remember. You want to focus, because I read through 100 possible questions that he could ask me. So I have to remember them, and some of them are dates, some of them are names, some of them are policies, some of them are history, so you have to remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me, so you have to be asked like 10 questions for the civic, for your naturalization, and then so we started with English, like reading and writing. My question was, what day is Columbus Day? What month is Columbus Day celebrated? Or something like that. What was that? Ilikuwa nini? Which month do we celebrate? Which month is
that was
Columbus?
The writing.
No, that was reading. I read, then I wrote.
Oh, okay. Something about Columbus
Day. Something about Columbus Day, but the answer so what I was supposed to write is Columbus Day is celebrated
in October.
It's celebrated in October. Is in October or something.
Yeah, it's in October.
Yeah. So you write that in you use a stylus pen and you write in a tablet, and then you submit it. Then he checks if your spelling is right, if you've written Columbus well. Kwanza Columbus.
I was so worried about that. I thought he was gonna write Columbus, COLO.
But I wrote Columbus, which is the right way of writing it.
Yeah.
So I did that. That was quick because I know how to write and read English. But for some reason, when you're having that exam, you still have the tension of even writing I am my name,
Mm-hmm.
Then move from that. Then they said, now I did the civic questions where he had to read 10 questions and I only have to answer 6. So
right.
Usually
6 right.
6 right. You have to do it correctly. So you have 4 options in case you don't answer the first 6. So basically, if you read through all those questions, and it is random, by the way. So I was asked which war was fought in the 1800s, which everyone knows it's the Civil War. And then which war, so the next one again was about war, was fought in the 1900s. So you either choose World War I or World War II, because both of them were fought in the same period. And then the other one was the what papers?
I don't know that one about papers. I was like,
the federal papers were written by someone. Name one of the writers. And then I think L, what was your answer in your head? Because you're behind me.
Nothing. Nada.
You've never even had that question.
I've never had that question. Maybe I had it when I was preparing for my own thing, but I didn't have any idea. I was like, I hope he knows, because I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I heard you say it. I was like, and then you said correct. I was like,
so the answer
that's when
is,
I started doing backflips. That's mommy, and that's my me.
Yeah. So I did that, and so the answer is John Jay, right? You guys know. And then
you guys know, please.
Guys, let me tell you something about how I prepared, because I'm just talking of me answering, but every morning when I was driving to work, I had to listen to 100 questions. So that was done, and then he said, I am good. I was surprised.
The time I knew that you had passed everything is when he said, oh, just check your name. This is how your name is going to appear on the naturalization certificate. I was like, oh, I don't think you'd be doing this part if you didn't pass.
Yes.
So
maybe I was just like in disbelief, honestly. I was in 100% disbelief. I was looking back, I see you're still sitting there, so I know this is real because you are sitting behind me. And then I would be like, I have done it, because I have prepared for so long. Like every day, reading every day. Like even some of the videos that they've been delaying is because sometimes I read and I prioritize reading for these naturalization test to editing video in time.
Oh yeah, it's very important because this is a one-time thing. Like even if we miss uploading a video because you had to study, when you're done, now we can upload as many as we want.
Yeah.
Right. So and actually we haven't missed uploading.
And this process is very expensive, guys.
It is.
This process is very expensive.
I think eventually we'll do like a mini.
Because we have all the papers here. I'm looking at them. So there's a time we paid 1,225. We will tell you when.
That was
There's a time we paid $710. We will go through all these papers one day. We'll just sit down and just, for someone who is interested in knowing how much it costs, we will go through this and just so that you guys also understand, because right now it's very fresh. That's why I wanted to do this video right now before I start thinking what happened.
And the whole K1 visa process has been pretty good, except the part where it took so long for you to get your employment authorization, but that was because of COVID. But usually the K1 visa goes pretty smoothly for most people, especially in the later times when the people that we've talked to that have gone through the process. It's taking so quick. Like someone gets here and within like 3 months or less they have their green card already.
Yeah, mine took long, but mine took long. That was over 1 year plus.
Yeah, that was COVID time, so things were a little different. But we thank God we're here. We thank God so much, because He's really been with us, and every step of the way He's shown that this is His will for your life, I think. Do you feel that way? Do you think that did you ever think that one day, like when you were growing up, did you think that you were gonna become a US citizen one day?
No.
Never?
Me, I first of all, when I was growing up, I didn't even know I was a citizen of the country I was in. What do you mean? Yeah, like
you just found yourself.
Yeah, you know you are a citizen when you are turning 18 and you have to get an ID, or those conversations start when you are like 16 or 17, that when you become 18 you'll have an ID like us and you'll be doing this and that. But when you are growing up, you don't really care which citizen or even which country you are in. You're just having life.
You read history and you see how you become a citizen of a country. Me, I remember my history class in sijui ilikuwa class 6 wakisema
kuna mali tunaongea juu ya citizenship and how to become a citizen of Kenya.
Yeah, like by birth, citizenship by birth.
I think I took a trip somewhere.
Citizenship by sijui what.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But were you thinking if you are a citizen? Like me, when you are growing up, when you are like 10 years,
it wasn't you are a citizen of. I'm thinking at which country am I a citizen of? I don't think I thought about it like that. But I think even when I was a citizen, I started to think about it when I came here. Because now it's like you're in a process, right? Now you start to understand like what it means. But I think like when you're born, you're just there, like you find yourself wherever, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is where I live. And then later you find out you're a citizen of that country.
So now this is not the end of it. So the next process is for me to go and take my oath to become a US citizen. So yours truly will not only be a Kenyan citizen, but also a US citizen.
Ding, 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 a dual citizen.
Dual citizen. This country will be coming for me in choppers. If you hold me hostage, the US. No, I'm just saying, by the way, this is the truth. When you are a US citizen, you are now within, like the US, you are the property of the US. It will come for you. It will do anything to make sure you are safe. The same way, I expect my country, which is Kenya, to also do the same.
I can't wait for you to vote in the next elections.
I will vote in the next election.
And I think I'll vote.
So help me God, I will vote in the next election. And not only in the US, I also want to vote in Kenya. I want to make a change in both of these countries, because my roots are in Kenya and I'm naturalized now. I'll be naturalized in the US. So I can't wait for that day. And guess how long from now?
just a quick short 3 years.
What do you mean?
What?
I'm not being naturalized in 3 years.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the next elections.
No, no, not elections. So I'm just saying, I'll become a citizen. I'll take my oath to become a naturalized citizen of the US in the next how many days? What date is it today?
In the next 5 days.
In the next 5 days. In 5 days, I will be a citizen of the US. So help me God.
Wow, this is really nearing the end of the process.
This is like me. I
always like to go back to like the very beginning, guys. So the beginning of this whole thing, we were not even sure like which process we were gonna use. You remember that meeting we had with the guy, and he was advising us like, okay, maybe you can use this process.
Tulikuwa hapo Homeland. Hapo Homeland. Hiyo ka restaurant kako hapo. That's where we sat. Homeland hapo karibu opposite Garden City. That's where we sat and started this process because we were deciding whether we are going to use K1 or use the one for marriage.
CR1.
CR1 or K1. In Garden City, opposite Garden City, Homeland, that's where the whole thing started. Anyway, of course, it started in our minds, in your mind.
Actually, yeah. Gosh, like, I think it was just meant to be that way because, I don't know, like me becoming a citizen kind of like provided another way. And it made it possible to actually even like pursue our relationship further because it like now we had a way of actually closing the distance. You know, before I think we were just like getting together and then we're like, now there's no way like what is gonna happen. But now when we had these different paths that we can use, it actually made it possible to like pursue and actually like have a way to get to where we are today. So honestly, I think it started in my mind and then I was telling you about it. And what did you think the first time I mentioned that? Like I was like, you know, we could actually do this and you can come to America. I want to see your face. I'm seeing your face. I want them to see your face as you answer the question, like what you thought about it, like initial thoughts.
Me, first of all, I thought that was a very complicated thing. Honestly,
it is. Yeah.
I was like, what? Me, I was not even understanding it. This visa K1, CG K1 visa, because before she even mentioned it to me, I didn't know how I'll make it to come to the US. I only knew about visitors visa or tourist visa. I know, visitors and tourists. Those are the two visas that I knew about. I never knew about K1. And when she told me that it will mean if we go through it, you said it's 8 months, so we have to pay some fees, do some application, send pictures and everything that we've been, like we were talking about the process. And then at some point you said when you come to the US, because we were looking at the whole process, how it will go, we have to get married in 90 days. You remember?
Yeah.
Me, I was like, hey, I'm not ready to get married. Where? You want me to move to the next stage? But then again, I think it took time because we had time to talk about it longer, and we looked at the process. She used to make me read stuff. Me, I didn't want to read these long documents. By the way, USCIS has so much information, and you can get lost in it because there are so many links. You click one thing, you see it, it's blue, so it means you can click it. You click it, it takes you to another URL, and now you're like, this is crazy. But my initial thought was like, this girl, I think, first of all, I thought you are crazy.
What?
Because now it means, Nico, like, are we getting to get a relationship? Are we getting this visa to get married or what? Because me, I want to be with you, but you want to have a relationship first. See, you jump from being girlfriend and boyfriend to marriage in 90 days, and I feel, why are you controlling us? Then I thought about the whole process. Nikasema, by the way, let me tell you, that initial thought, the initial thought is, why am I doing this? Like, why am I getting married? Hey, married? No. Hey, so now I go tell my parents. You start looking at all these people. You have a lot of noise when you are told initially. But when you sit down and you think about it, you're like, if I love this person and I want to have a life with her, and this is the only process that ensures that we do it very quickly, and now you build on whatever you have, because whether you are married or not, you will still have a relationship, right? But you need to be together in one space. That's what I always feel. If you're together in one space, it will answer so many questions that are giving you doubts at that point when you're being told all these things. Then we chose the K1. I remember that guy Akasema, K1 is a very good option for you guys. So you guys should go about me. I was like, who is this guy? I didn't even know him. So you said you knew him from Alcoa US and he knows so much about immigration and all these things. So I was like, now this guy, I don't even know him. You told me about him, of course, but I'm like, so he's the one who's telling us what to do.
And then I was already inclined towards the K1.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was already sold, so I was the one being sold.
Yeah, he was the one who wanted to understand.
Nimesema English mzuri? I was the one being sold. The information was being sold to me, so that I understand. And now she felt like she told me a lot, but if I hear it from some other person who has gone through it or who knows about the process, it will make sense quicker or faster.
It will make it land.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it did. And I thank God I did that. The only thing that came in between was, of course, COVID, which made us take very long before the whole process, the wheel started turning. But to be honest, if you love someone and they're in the US and you are not married yet, I would propose you use K1 visa. K1 visa will make your process very quick, especially if there's no pandemic. It will be the quickest. You will not understand what happened, but as long as you love each other, keep on talking, communicate, and everything will fall in place. It also requires you to have to use a lot of money. A lot of your finances will be used, so be prepared with that. And watch a video like this, because we will tell you about it. I honestly want to go through this documentation and tell you from beginning, because now we have the full picture. We'll tell you the amounts, we'll tell you how long it will take. So watch these videos and look forward to this video that will talk about the whole process and how much it cost us.
Yeah. Because
we are going to tell you everything point blank. All these papers here, very good information. So we are ready to share it with you.
Yeah. And guys, we have done this whole thing on our own, like by ourselves. And it's just like he was saying, required a lot of reading, a lot of like staying organized and keeping everything that you get, making sure like you can reproduce those documents, because at every stage you're gonna need documents from like the previous stages. So reading a lot, helping each other, just both being very involved in the process, and even including other people too. Like sometimes you had to, like the previous time, you had to have other people sign affidavit for you that they know you, that they can vouch for you, you're a good citizen, and so on. So it's been very, very involving, but I feel like we've really done it. It's been like a project that has been ongoing for years. It's been 5 years of us like to get here, so I'm so excited for Tuesday. I can't wait for Tuesday.
So just to give you perspective, today is Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday we'll be back in this parking lot. We go into this building that is on my side, and then I take that oath. I'll be now a citizen of the US, and that means all the benefit that follows anyone who is a US citizen will follow me. I will be attached, and then
I'm so happy, and finally our whole household will be citizens.
Yes, because I'm the only one who's not a citizen in my home.
Just 5 more days.
Elena is a citizen, you are a citizen, and soon I'll be a citizen. And that way it means the world is our playground. We can go wherever the visa allows us, the passport I mean, and we'll also go through the process of applying for a passport, because after this I'm getting a passport and I'll for sure use it to travel the world, and you will be coming with us.
Amen. God willing. We are so ready and excited for what the Lord has done and what is ahead of us. Like we know He has opportunities that we haven't even thought of for us, and we're gonna use these opportunities to glorify Him, to just showcase His goodness. And thank you, Jesus. That's all I can say.
Yeah, this is a very long video, and I think the prayer that we made here also had a hand, because the moment we went in there, I'm telling you guys, I felt like God was working in that room, because I just sat and it's like he was answering, he was doing it for us. Because we did, yes, of course we submitted documents in advance, and we submitted more than he even required, everything he wanted. And I think it's just God going ahead of us in every step of the way. And the fact that I think you prayed before we went in, it's like God went ahead of us. And even the person who ended up having those documents and doing it was having that interview with us. You could feel there was something higher, a higher power in that room.
Yeah, like
because I was
so
seated
easy.
too. Me, I was just seated.
He was so easy about it. Like he's like, this is so easy. He was actually even saying that this is so easy. This is so easy.
Yeah, like I should be the one saying this is so easy in my head, but he was saying it.
Yeah, he was the one who was saying this is so easy. Like, you guys submitted more than I need. I have no questions. I'm just like,
me by the way, even sitting in that room, I was like, Akib, God is working here.
Wow, really?
I was saying God is working for me because I could feel it. Like, I'm just seated there. Like, this is one interview that would make you a citizen or not. And if he decides to say no and he gives a reason, because he's human, he can say no. Like, there's no one who will say, why did you not? Because if there's something they felt, because they've been trained, he can actually deny it. But I could feel it, like everything just working. If he had any question, he saw everything in that document. He saw all the answers, and everything just worked for the good. Because I feel like whatever, I was just an instrument. I just went there, sat, and I answered whatever question I had to answer. I didn't know what he was going to ask, but I could feel the presence of God in that room, because everything was just happening.
Wow.
Like within 3 minutes, all the conditions removed. I answered a few questions, yes, but they were simple questions to me.
And they were just like just what's your name, what's your date of birth. Like, it's not like questions about you as a person or about our marriage or anything like that. It's just like him verifying like our information, your phone number, your what, like do you guys
that was, yes. So it's very important that you pray for your process. It's very important that you put God first. Even pray every day, because every day you say, God, lead us into the next day, be with us, make sure everything falls in place, go ahead of us. Me, or go ahead of us, I think it is I learned to go ahead of us, wapi, but
from me.
I don't know where I learned it from, but I always say go ahead of us, because ahead of you means everything you do, because you don't even know what is going to happen tomorrow, maybe in the next minute, but God clears that path for you, so that everything falls in place the way you perceived or planned it in your mind, and God also takes that plans and actions it for you on your behalf. So you are just an instrument. You're just sitting there to see what is like God's work, Me, that's how I felt the whole time we were seated in that room. Me, I was in disbelief. And some of those questions, yes, you can hear, even for Elle, some of those questions, one of them looked very like she has never had that question before. And I always dreaded that question, by the way. There are questions I usually dreaded. One of them was the representative of Arizona, where I live, because we had an election last year and they were changed. So they are new. Those names are not easy. So it's very easy for you to forget the name. But whatever question that I dreaded was asked, and I was able to remember and answer it. So that's just God working in our process. So this video has been so long. I thought it would be maybe 10 minutes, but I think it's very important for whoever is going through this process, and since we are just coming out of that room, that we tell you what exactly happened, and maybe it will inspire you if you're waiting to do this process, so that you feel like this is something that's possible through God, and also possible through preparation, and also possible like because God has already gone ahead of you in the whole process. And with that, we thank you, and we hope you will watch the next video that will be attached to this series. I think we'll do a new series. We'll create a new folder in our YouTube, so that you guys understand the process of being naturalized, and also our K1 process. We'll talk about it, because now we are seeing we are going the full circle with you guys. We remember everything, because I've been going through these documents like no one's business. So please come back, subscribe, like, share, and also please congratulate me, because by the time you're watching this, I will probably be a citizen of the United States.
We'll probably continue on,
and we will
Thursday,
yes,
on Tuesday.
On Tuesday we are carrying you guys with us. We are going to record everything. It's possible. And yeah, say congratulations to me. Yeah, see you guys, bye, and see you in the next video. Boom.
So like, share, and subscribe, guys, and watch out for our next video. Love you.